Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need.
Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. When we left you, we told you we were going to tear apart this 1.6-liter Hyundai engine because we knew we had a bad injector in there. We planted it in there to show you for demonstration purposes here, and we're going to show you how we did that.
Yeah, but before you jump on the process, danger, Will Robinson, danger. All kinds of stuff going on here. You got high pressure system. Follow your service manual. We did ours. Could be 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 PSI. This thing is a laser cutter with gasoline. It will take fingers off, depressurize the system.
No doubt. And another safety note, make sure you disconnect the battery when you're doing stuff like this on your engine as well. Now, the first step, we had to remove the injector wiring plug that was right on top there. One bolt holding on the bracket, and that was it. Piece of cake, John.
Yep, and then the purge valve was connected to the intake manifold as well. So we just kind of looked around the intake manifold, made sure what had to be unbolted before we took it off and ripped something off.
We had to take the coolant elbow out of the way. A couple of bolts there. We swung it up out of the way. We didn't have to undo the hose clamps on either side, and we didn't think we'd have to get to the coolant system anywhere, but we did find one hose on the bottom side. We did disconnect that. That was that.
Yep, and then the throttle body and the map sensor was connected to the intake manifold, so we unbolted that. Make sure you check your service manual once again. Sometimes there's a learned procedure for that. It's a lot easier to leave the stuff on the intake manifold than disturbing it or taking it off. That's a big problem, so just check your service manual. Be gentle with these plugs.
John, only 5 bolts holding on the intake. I think there were 3 on the bottom, 2 studs on the top. And we were able to pull the intake off after that.
Yeah, and it was on to the injectors, man. There was a couple bolts holding the injector rail on. This is actually the plug Dave was talking about when it was the connector actually to the intake manifold. But more important is the actual rail right here. Now you can see what's going on. The fuel's coming in here, high pressure. Once again, we got the line to replace that with. That's coming up here. So that's located on the block from the pump over to here. So we got to here, and then we're going to replace that line as well. The fuel's coming in at 3,000 PSI, usually 40 or 50 to the high pressure pump, and then jacks it up there. So this is all steel. All the injectors are steel. Everything here is going into the intake manifold. Now here's a tip for you. Make sure you get all these gaskets and all these seals down here. They could be in the actual head or the actual block itself. So go down there and pick gently and make sure that they're here. Make sure you harvest every seal, and at the top the same thing. Sometimes you pull them out, they'll be stuck in here like this one is actually stuck inside of there right there. So make sure you get those out, Dave. And you got your failure analysis for us.
That's right. Here's the injector we looked at before the break in the last segment. The white one here, and you can see that looks good, and it is standing proud of the rest of the injector there. This is the failed one. We put a slit in there, and it's also worn way down. It's not going to seal anything there, and it's super brittle. I think that's, yeah, look at that. Came right off there. So we know that one is bad, and that's definitely the reason we need to replace this. And you talked about the new seals there. We can put those on. Let's look at the seals that are on an injector here. The combustion seal we just talked about. The rubber washer there, item number 2, that seals the injector to the outside of the combustion chamber. And then 3 and 4 there, the support disc and the O-ring, that is where the injector connects to the fuel rail.
We'll go ahead and reverse the procedure, put it back together, key it up, make sure we have no fuel leaks, and we should be good to go, Dave.
You got it. And John, when we come back, we've got our segment we love to call Keep It or
Crush It!
Taking a first look at our Chevrolet K10 up next on Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Don't go anywhere.